Okay, let's jump into Isaiah chapter 39 for this deep dive.
Right. This chapter, it really packs a punch despite being quite short.
It does. So the scene opens with King Hezekiah of Judah. He's just recovered from this really serious illness, right?
Like,
Life-threatening.
exactly. And just as he's getting back on his feet, these messengers arrive from Babylon.
Yeah, from Merodach-Baladan, the king there. Seems like a courtesy call at first glance. Maybe, congratulations on getting better.
You might think so. But what Hezekiah does next and the reaction it provokes, that's where the story takes a pretty significant turn.
He seems genuinely pleased they came. The text says he welcomed them warmly.
Very warmly. He seems almost eager to show them around.
Eager is putting it mildly. He doesn't just give them a quick look. He shows them, basically everything he has.
Yeah, the scripture is quite specific. All his storehouses,
Yeah.
the silver, the gold, the spices, the expensive oils.
Even his armory, all his weapons, his military stuff, it explicitly says there was nothing in his palace or his whole kingdom he didn't show them.
Think about that. Nothing hidden. Total transparency. Which, from a strategic point of view, seems questionable.
Definitely questionable. Why show a rising power like Babylon absolutely everything? Your wealth, your military capacity?
Was it pride? Trying to impress them, maybe angle for an alliance? Or just a lapse in judgment, showing everything feels less like diplomacy and more like, well, laying all your cards on the table?
Exactly. And it's this total openness that brings the prophet Isaiah into the picture. He shows up pretty quickly after the envoys leave.
And Isaiah, he gets straight to the point, doesn't he? No small talk.
Not at all. He asks Hezekiah sort of pointedly, who were these men? Where did they come from?
Hezekiah confirms, oh, they came from a distant land, from Babylon.
Okay, fine. But then Isaiah hits him with the crucial question. What did they see in your palace?
And Hezekiah just owns up to it completely. They saw everything, he says. There's nothing among my treasures I didn't show them. No attempt to downplay it.
And that's the trigger. Because of that admission, because he showed them everything, Isaiah delivers this heavy message from the Lord Almighty.
Yeah, this is the consequence landing, directly linking Hezekiah's actions to the future.
Yeah.
And it's devastating.
What does he say?
Isaiah lays it out. The time is coming when everything the Babylonians saw, all the treasures in the palace, everything his ancestors collected, it's all going to be carried off to Babylon.
Wow. Everything he just proudly displayed.
Everything. Isaiah says, nothing will be left. The very wealth he showed off will be taken by the people he showed it to.
That's a complete reversal. But it gets worse, doesn't it? It becomes much more personal.
It does. It goes beyond just material wealth. Isaiah adds that some of Hezekiah's own descendants, his own sons, will be taken away.
Taken where?
To Babylon. And they'll become eunuchs, serving in the palace of the Babylonian king. It's not just loss of treasure, it's loss of freedom, status, the future of his royal line.
So showing off his kingdom's strength leads directly to its future plundering and the servitude of his own family. That's incredibly bleak.
You'd expect Hezekiah to be crushed, right? Or maybe repentant. Ask what he can do.
Absolutely. But his reaction is frankly kind of shocking. The text says he replies to Isaiah, "The word of the Lord you have spoken is good."
Good? How can that be good?
Well, his reasoning follows immediately. He thinks to himself, there will be peace and security in my lifetime.
So he accepts the prophecy as true, maybe inevitable good in that sense, but his primary thought is relief that it won't happen to him.
Exactly. His focus seems entirely on his own immediate future, his own peace and quiet. The long-term disaster for his kingdom, his legacy, his descendants, that seems almost secondary.
That contrast is just stark, isn't it? The action showing everything, the consequence losing everything, including his line's freedom, and the reaction, well, at least I'll be okay.
It really throws into relief this tension between a leader's immediate comfort and the long-range well-being of their people. A moment of perhaps pride or poor judgment ripples out with a devastating effect generations later.
And his personal reaction, focusing only on his own time, is quite telling about his perspective at that moment.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? How much weight do we give to immediate comfort versus future consequences, whether it's in our own lives or when we look at leadership? What really stands out to you when you reflect on that ending?